Hi everyone, and welcome to May Demo Day here at Sweet Stitches Quilt Shop. I'm Joan, and today our theme for Demo Day will be Quilter's Grab Bag. And so I have a bunch of different bags here, as you can see, and each one is filled with either a different quilt or some sewing notions, something that has to do with the bag, or it might not have anything to do at all. It's a grab bag. So let's get started. Let's start with this one. So last month I did show you this bag. So I showed this bag last month because we had a flower theme in April, and this has flowers on the bag. And this is the Quilt As You Go tote bag, and this is now a class here at the shop. This is very easy to do on your own, but we have a few people that are newer quilters and they wanted a little bit of help or have maybe never done a Quilt As You Go bag. And so I wanted to share this because we had 2 bags to choose from, and now we have 3. And so the new bag is the tote. The other bags were the Alexandria bag and the Sophie bag. And so one is diagonal, one is straight lines like this one, and then the newest one has flying geese going down the center with some striped fabric on the sides. So they're great little patterns. They're easy to put together, great little gifts that you can give to any time of year. Mother's Day is coming up, so of course this would be a really fast one to get done for Mom. In the bag you get the batting that's marked. You also get the pattern and how to lay out your strips and sew it together. And then you also get some webbing to put in the handles to make them extra strong. So this is a great, easy bag to make. Probably the easiest one here on the table today. And this is the Quilt As You Go tote bag, and this is the Sophie bag. The next bag I'm going to show you is this one, and inside this bag we have a quilt, which I'll show you in a minute, but let me show you the pattern first. It's called Half Moon Bay, and it is by Quilter's Dream in Pasadena, California. So what it is there's actually I think 4 or 6 different bags, tote bags like this, that are made with patchwork. This one's a real pretty one. I love it done up in the batiks here. We went with a blue and green theme, and a little touch of yellow there in the bag. These are real easy tote bags. They're lined. They have pockets inside. And what's kind of funny about this one is that I got the bag all done, and I go to sew the final stitches in the lining, and I go to reach into the pockets, and I have sewn the pockets sideways. So this one has sideways pockets in it, you know, something for hidden things that you don't want anybody to see. Actually, I'll probably end up tearing out the pockets and maybe sewing them in by hand, or maybe just eliminating them altogether, or maybe I'll just keep the side pockets. I don't know. We'll see. This is called Half Moon Bay, and inside of it we have a new quilting tool from Alex Anderson. We all love her Quilter Select products here at the shop, especially her rulers. If you haven't gotten a Quilter Select ruler yet with the anti-slip over the entire back side, that's really a ruler you want to invest in. They're really awesome. So the tool that we have is called 4-in-1 Essential Quilting Tool. And what it is, it has a point turner on the top of it. It has a pressing area here so that you can press seams without going to your ironing board, press your seams open, which you have to do a lot on these different bag projects and when you're just sitting and piecing. Inside of corner turner is a stiletto, and on the other end there is a seam ripper. So the sharp things are hidden inside, but it's a nice, pretty really feels good in your hand, wooden tool. It's a great little 4-in-1 tool. Also in the bag, when making all of these different bags that I made for here, I have a handle kit here at the shop that is called the Happy Handles Kit. It's by Auntie's 2 pattern. And what it is it actually has plastic tubing that you sew batting around for cushion, but it makes your handles really stiff and stand up really nice. So this is an option for when you're making bags. So in the bag we also had a quilt that we just got back from Judy Holden, who quilts a lot of our quilts for us here at the shop. This is the back side, just as beautiful as the front. She has a beautiful tulip design in this one. This quilt was made by Darla here at the shop, and she made it with AccuQuilt. It is the snail's trail block, and then there are some triangle and a square blocks in here that are put together end to end to make up the design. It's a real pretty way to lay out your snail's trail blocks. And this was done in the fabric line Venice, which sold out really fast here at the shop because of the beautiful colors that are in it. So a shout out to Judy on that one. And I'm going to show you a few more of her quilts that she did for us too here at the shop today. Again, that bag full of goodies was called Half Moon Bay bag. Another one by the same bag company, and as you can see, it's a nice simple tote too. This one is called Sausalito, and each of these bags are made with 6 fat quarters, and so it's a great, even the lining is made with the 6 fat quarters. So this one was made by Linda here at the shop. She was nice enough to make all of these, or make everything in this project bag actually. So this one is made out of Aboriginal fabrics that we have here at the shop. They have great designs to them, and we have a real pretty colorful layout here on the bag. It's just a simple tote with a lining and pockets, no zippers. Inside of the bag we have a new class that Linda is teaching here at the shop. This is called the Metro Twist, and this is by So Wonderful Quilts or Designs, and they make the, here it is, the quick curve ruler. And I've made a couple of quilts with this ruler here at the shop. This is a real easy ruler for making curves. It has a real slight curve to it, so it's not as tight as some curved piecing is. And there's a lot of fun patterns to make with this one ruler. So it's not a one and done ruler. The pattern is called Metro Twist, and it's by So Kind of Wonderful. This is on the calendar for this month. I believe it's on Mondays. That's when Linda's here in the shop. And for the class you'll need the ruler and the pattern, but the fabric choices are up to you. She did all Aboriginal fabrics, and Judy also quilted this one for Linda. So the next bag, you might recognize this style of bag. This is kind of Japanese in style. It's a kind of a carry it on your arm kind of bag like this, or hold it like this. This is called the Bindle bag, And you might recognize it because I made one at Christmas time, and here it is. This is the baby Bindle bag. This one was made with candy cane fabric and some little snowflakes on the red. This time though, I made the larger size, and this is the largest size. There's also a medium size and with the large size pattern. And so inside this one we have the two patterns. Here again we have baby Bindle and then the Bindle medium and large. This bag was made out of Allison Glass fabric. This is her line called Art Theory, and it's got beautiful colors in it. We just love it. And for the accent color I use this yummy dimple fabric from Andover Fabrics. It's a nice purple. It goes really well with the rainbow on the outside. So that's the Bindle bag. And inside the Bindle bag, so in this bag we have a quilt done by Darla here at the shop with AccuQuilt. This is called Local Color. Isn't it beautiful? And those are nice easy curves that you can make with your AccuQuilt cutting system. And this one is on the calendar for this month too, so you can check that out. You will need the die for the class and your AccuQuilt cutting system, of course, too. But it's a great way to learn curves and color in this class, because the colors, the two larger circles, create the center color when they mix together. So it's kind of fun to play around with the colors in the fabrics this way. And she quilted this one herself. Isn't it beautiful? And this is the back side. This is a nice rainbow ombre fabric that we have here at the shop. And that's called Local Color. Okay. So next we have the retreat bag. This is a class that's going to be on the calendar in June when Linda gets back. And it opens like a doctor's bag. So it has metal stays that go in the top of the bag and a zipper closure. And it comes in two different sizes. So we have the larger size and we have the smaller size. And so this is what the metal stays look like. Just two metal stays to help it prop open. And then for the larger one we have the larger size, of course. This is, when you buy the metal stays, on the back side of it, it tells you where you can get a free downloadable pattern. And so if you take the class, if you do decide to take the class, we'll have a printout here for you to look at and go over. And so this will be on the calendar in June. So you'll have to look for that one. Great bag to take to retreats or any kind of sewing class that you're going to hold all your notions. And speaking of retreat bags, this is a great one to take along for retreats. This is the wireframe totes, and this is by the Fat Quarter Gypsy. And there's a pattern for making 3 different sizes. And you do use Bosal double-sided fusible foam in it to give the body, to give the bag some body and shape to it. And then you also need these wire frames. And the wire frame, here's the small one. You might have remembered this one because I made this smaller size. I made this smaller size here, more towards back around Christmas time, to show you what the smaller size will look like. Linda, of course, went big, so she can fit all her stuff for retreat in there. And also she brings her projects to work in this too. So there's 3 different sizes: the small, the medium, and the large. This is the large and the small. This class will also be on the calendar in June too. Linda's going to have a lot of bag classes. So that'll be fun for everyone to take those classes too. So when you go on retreat, sometimes the retreat center that you go to, or maybe the classroom that you're in, doesn't have the best lighting. And so one of the things that you can stick in your bag are these portable Daylight Company lamps. We have this one, and this one also has a magnifier at the top of it too, so if you have trouble seeing, you can put your project under the magnifier. And they also are cordless, as you can see. All you need to do is charge them, maybe on your phone, or plug them into the wall. And they have different lighting levels to go along with them. This one can bend and turn any way you want it to. Nice little, and it's also a clip-on, so you can put it on a book or attach it to the table that you're working on. So it has a nice little light in there too. So we do sell Daylight Company lighting here at the shop. So if you haven't seen that, you need to come in and check it out, because there's some really great lighting that maybe even plugs into the wall. It goes over your sewing machine. There's also light desks too, so you can trace. They're just really, really great lights. They have a good intensity to the light. I use one at home when I'm binding my quilts. It sits right next to my chair, so it's become part of the living room. So keep those in mind if you're going to go on retreat and you want to take a little bit more light with you. These are a great thing to take along. And they travel, they fold up, nice and light. So this is the wireframe tote, and this will be a class in June with Linda. Okay, so next we have, let me find the pattern for it. Maybe not, there's so much stuff in this bag I can't find it because it's such a huge bag. I mean, look at the size of this thing. This is made, and I will have to find the pattern. Here it is. The pattern is called the Fuse Fold and Stitch Bag. It's by Aunties 2. You can see they got a real pretty one on the front made with teals. This bag is very thick, so it's not going to be for the little tiny sewing machines out there. You want a machine that's got some power to it to get through the thickness of this. It is made with Bosal. It's made with Bosal in-art foam on a roll, single-sided fusible. This is 2 1/4 inches by 25 yards. I used all but this much of the roll for making the bag, and this makes the handles, the outside of the bag, the inside of the bag, and you have enough left over to probably use on some handles on another bag, because this foam is just really wonderful. It's nice to sew through. It quilts up nicely. That is the fusible single-sided on a roll. And so this bag has great pockets inside of it. Nice big, the construction of it's a little bit different than most bags, because you're basically going to be creating strips of fabric and you're going to be wrapping them and creating a double layer of this foam. And that's what creates each one of these. Each one of these are a tube, and then you're going to kind of zigzag them together. You can see down my center seam, it kind of looks like grout in between tiles here. You zigzag them together. And I just did a double zigzag down each one of them just to hold it, and in case maybe my machine skipped a stitch, which of course it's a Janome, so it wouldn't skip a stitch. But it's a great bag. It's a nice size. You can also put a button attachment in it. They have directions for adding a button to the front of it too, so it'll close up. But this one will hold a lot of stuff. In fact, inside of it I have a lot of things. Because our theme is grab bag, I figured I'd have a bag that would have things with the word grab in it. So here's a few of the items that I found here in the shop that have the word grab on them. So one of the first things are these flexible rubber thimbles. They're great for putting on your fingertips and being able to pull the needle through the fabric. So if you're binding or if you're hand quilting or just doing any hand stitching, they come in two different sizes. So they have a small and then they have kind of a medium large. They fit on your fingers snugly and they really help you pull those needles through. So if you're having trouble with that, you know, maybe you got a little bit of arthritis, maybe it's a little harder to pull on that needle. These would help you out a lot. The other favorite thing here with the word grab in it is the Grab-A-Roos gloves. I recommend these for anybody that's doing any kind of free motion quilting on their regular sewing machine, or maybe you have a sit-down quilter, they're perfect for that too. They're also good sometimes just for helping you control the fabric underneath your machine. Maybe you've got a bag that's maybe a little thick or a little hard to hold on to. Even machine applique, sometimes turning and stitching around a corner of an applique might get a little tricky. Wearing these gloves will help you hold onto that fabric. They're really great for that. And of course, I mentioned it before, Quilter Select rulers with the anti-slip on the back of them. They really grab the fabric and they do not slip, so you'll have to come in. We'll be glad to give you a demonstration on how those work and let you even try it out so that you can see they're just a superior ruler. And we'd love for everyone to have them because no more cutting with your rotary cutter and the ruler slipping on you. So you want to give those a try. The other thing that's really important for making bags are wonder clips. And so these help you grab the fabric pieces and hold them together as you're sewing, because sometimes your pieces get a little thick when you're sewing a bag together. You might have multiple layers and pins really don't work well. They will distort how the fabric's laying, so it might not stitch as nice. So using wonder clips will really help. I like the smaller size, the medium size here, for most things like binding, holding the pieces together that you're sewing. The larger binders are great for, you know, holding larger pieces of, you know, like the handles, or when I put the binding on this one, it's extra thick. It's like almost too thick for regular wonder clips, so I use the larger size for that too. So it's good to have all the different sizes. They even have little tiny mini ones for piecing more delicate things. And another gripper thing that we have here at the shop is the Janome So Comfortable board. It's a non-slip pedal pad, and here I have my foot pedal from my machine, and if I put that on there, it doesn't slip around. So this board would sit on carpet, it would sit on hardwood floor. It's not going to damage your floors. It's not like sticky, but it's also not going to move. So you can see here, your foot pedal is going to stay in place. So these are here at the shop. They're over by the machines. You can definitely check those out. I keep one here when I'm sewing at my table, and it keeps me from having to chase that foot pedal all over the place. And I'd have to tell you, it works better than the shelving stuff that you get at the store, because sometimes that stuff gets dirty and then it doesn't want to stay in place. So you definitely want to give this a try. Anything else in the bag? I don't think so. Again, this bag is called the Fuse Fold and Stitch Bag, and it does have a button option on it, and it has great size to it, and it has a lot of great big pockets in it too. So nice, handy, but not for the little sewing machines out there. This is for those of you that have a little bit larger machine. So the last project inside that bag was this quilt, and this is called Baby Chains. This one was made by Linda here at the shop. It's a fun, you can do it in any colors you want. We chose to do it in black and whites with a splash of color in each block. It's a project sheet, so that means that instead of a whole pattern, what you have is a project sheet. So there's a pattern on the front side and the back side, because this is a nice, simple, easy pattern to do. Great beginner quilt. And Linda will have this, she has this on the calendar this month, so you'll have to look that up. It's called Baby Chains. She goes over creating the blocks in the class. You won't get them all done. That's for you to do at home. But real easy to put together, and a lot of fun to use lots of your black and white stash and a little bit of your bright colors too. So this is Baby Chains. I'll show you the back side because Linda pieced this one together using a nice black and white fabric, and then her leftover colorful scraps on the back side. All right, so the final grab bag today is the show-off bag. And so this is the pattern. And the show-off bag is by Whistlepeg Creek Productions. And I don't do a lot of bags. I don't make a lot of bags. I'm making more nowadays than I ever did. But I don't always enjoy doing every single one of them. I usually do simpler ones. This one was, I'm going to say it's not simple, but it's also not hard. And it went together beautifully. It makes a really nice shaped bag. It has hidden pockets in the front and on the back side. It's great for showing off your large prints, like these giant sunflowers by Robin Pickens. This was from her Solana fabric line that came out this year. She has one coming out. Hopefully it'll be here in hopefully it'll be here sometime in May. She has a new group coming out that has hydrangeas, blue hydrangeas on it. That's just gorgeous. We can't wait to get that one in. We've been waiting a couple months for that one. A lot of the fabrics are slow to come in these days. Shipping's been a little bit difficult, but we're happy when they come in. So this is a great bag. And like I said, it's easy to make. It's the first time I did any kind of hardware work. So you see here we have the rectangle hardware that holds the handles onto the bag. It just looks a little bit more professional. And what's great is you make the whole bag, and then when you get to the end, you have the option of putting in a zipper, which I haven't done yet, but I definitely will. This one would also make a great diaper bag, because on the sides here there are pockets, and I'm going to call them optional, because when I make my next one, and I'm going to make another one of these for myself because I think this will be a great one for me to carry my projects to and from work. I'll probably make it in more of my colors, which of course are black. But I'm going to leave the pockets off so that it looks, less like a diaper bag. I think I'll just look a little sleeker. Inside there's 6 pockets, so that's nice too. And inside this one we have another quilt for show and tell. This is one that I made last month. It was called Floret, and it is on the calendar for this month. A class. It's a 2-part class. And it's made with the Flowers for Freya fabric line. This is a nice size baby quilt. Made with these aquas and citron and gray and white. Just a really pretty fabric line. And the pattern's really easy to do. I used the folded corner clipper ruler to create the blocks where you're going to cut off the corners of the blocks to create maybe a house shape or a diamond shape. This is Floret. And the bag is called the show-off bag. and it's called the Show Off Bag for a reason. It's a great bag. I really like the pattern. I enjoyed making it, and I think that you'll enjoy making it too. So maybe come in and give it a try. That was my last grab bag for the day, but I have a couple of quilts that I want to show you. These were also quilted by Judy. The first one, I put this one together a few months ago. You probably remember seeing the quilt top. It is called the Glimmer Quilt. I've made this probably 3 times. I did a baby size. I did another one like this that I still haven't quilted. It's at home. And then I made this one out of confetti fabric by V & Company for Motive Fabrics. It has the metallic dots on the outside of it, or it's an ombre fabric. So all of these oranges come from one piece of fabric. All of the blues come from one piece of fabric. It has light to dark ombre to it. And it has the metallic dots on it too, which give it a little bit of sparkle. I'll show you the back side too, because that's just as pretty. We use this pretty green color here. It looks nice and fresh on the back side. And Judy Holden did the quilting for me on it, swirls and bubbles, and it looks great. The Glimmer Quilt is by Jaybird Designs. You use the Super Sidekick ruler with it, and there's also a pattern for it. That one I might be putting on the class calendar for June again. I do it a couple times a year. I just think it's a great pattern, and it's an awesome ruler. She's a really great pattern writer. And the last quilt that I have for you today is Farmhouse Crossing, and this is a quilt by Robin Pickens. We love her work. We love her. She's the creator of the fabric line called Thatched, which we sell a lot of. It's a nice tone on tone that almost looks solid, but the colors are just fantastic on it. So we go through a lot of that here at the shop. And this quilt was made by Darla. I think she actually pieced this one when we were closed down last year for the pandemic. She pieced this one at home while we were working on projects at home for a month. And this one has some of her favorite colors in it. Everyone knows that she loves chartreuse. That's one of her favorite colors. Let me show you the quilt here. Try to hold it up the best I can. But it's called Farmhouse. And it would be beautiful in any different color way that you would choose. Farmhouse Crossing. Well, I just want to wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. I hope you're enjoying this beautiful weather that we've had, and you're planting your flowers and getting ready for summer. Don't forget that we're here, even in the summertime, for your quilt projects, and we hope to see you in the shop soon. And we look forward to seeing you next month here at Demo Day. Thanks for joining us.